Hi everyone, I'm Mike Gora. Welcome to part 1 of my perfect playthrough on Lemmings for the Genesis. Again, reminder, if you're playing along on a different system, some of the levels are going to be different. Anyways, here are the options. Password lets us resume for where we've left off, and there's a music option as well. Might check it out in a different video. The music in this game really kicks ass. But for now, here's the one-player campaign. Again, there are 5 difficulty settings. Fun, Tricky, Taxi, Mayhem, Present, and Sunsoft. Just press the A button to choose your difficulty setting. However, since we need to clear all 30 stages across all 6 difficulty settings anyways in order to beat the game, we'll start with the Fun difficulty setting first. In this setting, the main gimmick at first is learning how to play the game. At the bottom HUD, you need to move the cursor around with the D-pad and select which option you want the Lemmings to perform. Only one option has uses, so let's click on that, and then select one of the Lemmings to perform the move. Pressing C both times will select the option. Looks like the far right option lets us dig downward. Anyways, easy enough stage for even the 5-year-old to complete. We only needed to rescue 1 of 10 Lemmings, but we wound up rescuing them all. Either way, that's 1 level down, now on to level 2. This time the only option available is the one with the umbrellas, so just click on one and once he's through, you're done with the stage. Having said that, you can continue on rescuing Lemmings after you've passed the threshold if you like. Just know that a 100% rescue rate in each stage is impossible. As such, the conditions for a best overall rating is rather subjective at best. It's like counting perfect ring count in each stage of a Sonic game. I'll show you how to end a stage early in a future episode. For now, I just care about getting my feet wet. Just 1 more Lemming and 2 stages down, 28 to go. And level 3 is a prime example of a stage where we can't save all the Lemmings. And this is why. The only option available is the traffic Lemmings, which turn the selected Lemming into a blockade. And have you noticed that the Lemmings only ever travel in one direction, starting with the right? They only turn left when they reach a blockade. Unfortunately, they have no survival instincts whatsoever and will even march straight to their demise. So what we're trying to do is guide as many Lemmings as is necessary to the exit in order to complete the stage. The previous stage taught us this lesson with the umbrellas because the ledge was too steep for them to survive. And unfortunately, this stage also acts as a lesson that sacrifices are necessary towards our goal of beating the game. There's no possible way to unfreeze a Lemming acting as a blockade outside of some fancy tricks. Unfortunately, those tricks aren't available in this stage. The only thing we can do for these Lemmings now is to put them out of their misery. The fun way to do that is the nuclear option. Once all the Lemmings we want rescued have reached the exit, we can click on it and a countdown will appear over every Lemming's head. Such a cruel fate. But it's the grisly deaths mixed in with the problem solving that makes the game so much fun. Level 4 frees up a couple more options, but the one you want to start with is the pickaxe. This one lets you dig in a lower diagonal trajectory. In some cases, it's better than downward digging, in particular if you don't want any unnecessary casualties. Sometimes a drop from a downward dig can be quite steep. Now we have a path forward, we can make the Lemmings climb up the wall. Interestingly enough, the first 4 options, once selected, cannot be undone. Once you select the Lemming to climb, it will always have that ability. Same goes for the umbrella as well, so be careful. Of course, these first few stages are all designed to be really easy. Basic game design philosophy right there. Try to ease you in. Once that last Lemming reaches the exit, we're officially done with level 4. Good thing too, while we can't always save them all, it's sometimes required to do so. Anyways, on to stage 5. The available option this time is the bashing option. No, we don't have to punch or kick anybody, it's just the horizontal dig, that's all. Should come as no surprise that it's absolutely necessary in order to clear the stage. Worth noting too that this game absolutely doesn't want you screwing this up because unlike in past stages, we have a crap ton of lemming bashes to use. By the way, the music in the background is my favorite track in the entire game. It really kicks some serious ass. Almost sounds like something you'd hear in Smash Bros. If the Lemming ever made it in. Much as I'd like to show off the game's soundtrack though, I have to first deal with these annoying gnats. We basically want to be rid of them, and that requires some constant bashing. Unlike those solid walls, we need to constantly select the bash button on the lemmings to ensure that we cut through. If you don't, they'll just climb up the net wires, and you could wind up in serious trouble. Luckily, this is still one of the first levels, so worst case scenario is that you time out. Again, these early levels are, for the most part, quite generous with their completion conditions. Oh yeah, almost forgot. In the far left corner of the screen, you can choose to slow down or speed up the rate in which the lemmings fall through the stage entrance. I always speed up when I have nothing left to fear. We got the traffic lemming back, as well as the explosion option for the first time. Those two options really go well together since, unlike the nuclear option, the explosion merely blows up a single lemming. Comes in handy when you need to blow something up, as opposed to simply ending the stage immediately with a bang. Pretty straightforward stage, all things considered. There's still one option that we have yet to make use of, which means we are nearing the end of the tutorial portion of the game. We just need to speed things along so we can get this stage over with. Kind of an uncanny experience controlling the game with the D-pad, despite being emulated on the computer. Really? Was it really that necessary to have this many lemmings in a stage like this? Okay, so that's 7 levels down, now it's on to level 8. This is pretty much the final tutorial level in the game. This time the focus is on builder lemmings. Since the steps are a little too steep for them to walk up, we'll need to have them build upward bridges. Keep in mind that most lemming abilities are way slower than simply walking, so it's best to manage your time and resources here effectively, particularly if you wish to avoid a terrible mistake that I'll end up making later in this level. For starters, instead of one builder focusing on a single bridge, you should set up several builders right behind the main one in order to slow everyone down. Even falling is a tad slower than walking. Note the mistake I just made. I accidentally missed a lemming and assumed he'd make it across before the main lemming would finish. And that's the price I have to pay here. I gotta slow down a bit just to make absolute certain the other lemmings are able to make it out safely. Now that I'm in the clear, I can have my lone casualty build his way back up top. Just have to be careful not to have him accidentally get out on the left side or else I'll have to wait a while. Okay, I think I'm good now. Sure, he turned around right as he was about to reach the edge, but Yup, he climbed that step on the right just as I thought he would. The lemmings are kinda weird like that. But now that he's out, now's as good a time as any to make sure all the lemmings in this stage make it through the entrance. It's pretty much just a waiting game from here on out, but through all intents and purposes, I think we're done with the tutorial section of the game. Probably would have been done a lot sooner had I not messed up with the lemming in the pit, but what can you do? Just a few more lemmings to go, and we're done with the tutorials. Now that we know what everything does, it's time to take off the kitty gloves. Luckily, the next stage is a nice and easy one. Yup, that's all you need to do. Have the first lemming act as a blockade while all the others head for the exit directly to their left. Yeah, Robot Chicken's right. Lemmings truly are nature's retards. Unfortunately, I don't think there's any way to grant a block or a different task, and I don't want to take any chances by converting a free lemming into a miner just to free one guy. For what it's worth, at least the stage doesn't require you to rescue all of them, so we're free to nuke him. Boom! And that's it. those are the Lemming types. You got climbers, floaters. Let me check this again. You have climbers, floaters, bombers, blockers, builders, diggers, or bashers, miners, and diggers. Those are the Lemming types. And this was very, very easy. Because the stage forces you to do this while you're completely capped off on Lemming speed, I just had to keep constantly mashing the bashers on the first few Lemmings until they dig their way out. And there you go. Alright, and this time it's basically just focusing on I think there's only 20 Lemmings in this stage, so we're good here. We don't have to do anything super crazy like dig and mine and stuff. Unless, of course, you want to try to save all the Lemmings. And this is simply way easy. Alright, that's it. So, time to use the nuclear option. I don't know what the footprint one is supposed to do. Guess I'll find out sooner or later. Alright, this one's kind of tricky. You just have to have one Lemming climb up. Actually, two Lemmings climbing up. And I want to put enough distance between the two of them so I could set the first one up to act as a blocker. And now that I've got a digger, I'm sorry, a basher, I can nuke the blocker. Turn the blocker to a bomber. Unfortunately, the climber's just gonna climb up that wall. As I said before, the climber and floater abilities are permanent. Wait, the climber's called the athlete? I suppose I could have just nuked this guy and ended the stage. Just to save me some time. But what can you do? 98%, so that's good. Patience. Alright, so this one's kind of interesting. Gotta immediately turn one into a basher. Another one into a stopper once he makes it all the way to right of the exit. Right there. And this is kind of a nightmare. Because I have to try to sort out which direction these guys are, which Lemming is which, so they can all climb up. But I figure it out eventually. Time to go nuclear. Ah, missed him. Oh well. Alright, this one's kind of interesting. I'm going to try to booster the speed up a little bit, but we don't we definitely don't want to do max. What we want to do is create enough space between lemmings so I could turn each one of them into a digger. As it stands, their weight, they are just a tad too high, so letting them just drop will lead to their demise. But turning them into diggers here, and you can reduce the damage just enough so they could land safely and reach the exit. There's at least one other level that's just like this, and I assume there are even more than that, so... So we'll definitely see this level again, but on a harder difficulty setting. Alright, that's 100%, that's good. That's not too hard, but could be a little tricky if you're not careful. This is my favorite track in the game, by the way. Alright, I thought about digging down there, but you don't want to do that. What you want to do is dig up there, to the left of the left entrance. You dig the little tiny strip, diagonal strip to the far right, and you'll lead your lemmings to their demise, and we can't have that. As it stands, the lemmings currently have no ability to kill themselves, and we want to keep it that way. Even though it's funny to watch the lemmings die, some of the deaths can get pretty graphic too. And I mean blood and gore types of graphic. Like, how the hell did they get away with rating this game a general audience back in the day? Remember, the ESRB rating didn't exist yet. I believe this game came out roughly the same time as Mortal Kombat on the arcade. Maybe a little earlier than that. And I'm talking about Genesis version of Lemmings versus arcade Mortal Kombat, not the original 1991 DOS or Apple II release of Lemmings, which came out first. But it's kind of interesting how much you could get away with in terms of entertainment aimed at children. This is definitely a rockin' track, and this is definitely a good enough reason why I would choose the Genesis version of Lemmings over any other version. And keep in mind, I own this game on Super Nintendo. And I still chose the Genesis version. Just listen to that. It's just so fucking catchy, man. And really, all we have to do is wait until all the other lemmings reach the exit. Again, this definitely sounds like something I could picture in a Super Smash Bros. Game, if a lemming ever makes an appearance in Super Smash Bros. As a playable fighter. Alright, 70% need to be saved. And right now, the speed is just fine enough that I could probably manage. The lemmings currently can't kill themselves, so I'm not too concerned about any loose stragglers walking off the ledge. Looks like I have to fix something. Huh? Come on. Alright, that step is a little tricky, but you want to build a bridge so those lemmings could climb out. And this is basically good. Just dig a hole, just create a basher, and now I'm gonna stay where I feel confident that I can save all the lemmings. Just max them all out and wait them all out. I don't know if we will get to witness any truly gruesome deaths, but there are several ways that a lemming can die. They could fall too high and disintegrate. They could fall into the water, or lava, or I don't know, green acid. The ooze from Ninja Turtles, I suppose. They could get incinerated by flames. Now, I want to create a single blocker while a lemming up front does all the work, because this stage can get quite difficult if you don't do this. If you don't have a blocker on standby. Like, this is that gap right there is definitely gonna lead to a lot of demises, to a lot of deaths if you're not careful. Luckily, now that I feel that all the other lemmings will be safe, I can nuke this guy. As a side, I could also try to free him up, but, you know, I'm not going to. Just create another basher and have them dig up dirt from the left, directly underneath the blocker's feet, and they'll free the blocker up. Not gonna do that, it ain't worth it. Alright. And I need to create another blocker here because we are all maxed out. I probably should have created more bashers for those other pillars as well. I just wanted to manage my resources better. I need to pause the game so I could have time to make them both floaters. Turn that into a blocker. The first one and the second one becomes a builder. And I decided to nuke the blocker on the far right so the others can reach it. The fall would be too steep and you can't save all the lemmings if you just by turning them all to floaters. Try to turn them into bashers here is tricky because they're all cluttered and I have no idea which direction they're facing. Now to try and nuke these ones. I want to save this one for last because a good chunk of these lemmings are heading his way. So once the last batch of them turn around, I'm going to nuke them. That's good. So I'm going to go the nuclear option now. Wait till I'm nice and good. Come on. I think I just misclicked. Good. There are ways to get 100% of those lemmings out alive, but that's kind of costly. By the way, the lemmings, I believe, are just saying, let's go. Now, this can be a little tricky because of those flame pits, but, let's see if I can do it. Right as he passes the first flame pit, I'm gonna turn him into a bomber. But now I actually have to use stop lemmings. You want to create just a... Oh. Probably shouldn't have done that, but I digress. I think the reason why I did it anyways is because there's so many of these lemmings clustered together, it'd be difficult. That wouldn't have mattered that much anyways. I know there is a more convenient way to shift between commands than how I'm doing it with the cursor. Alright, that's the first unique death. A lemming bursting into flames. And also, some lemmings can get crushed. They get incinerated. And there's like this one trap that's basically they get hanged and their body gets ripped apart. And they can get skewered. Like, there is like some blood and gore levels of shit right here. Alright, this lemming is just far enough away from the wall on the lower left side that I don't have to worry about him nuking it. So all the other lemmings, save for the one that walked into the fire pit, are safe. We just have to weigh them out and we're good to go. Just like that. Catch more floaters. Alright, this one... I turned the first lemming into a climber, or rather an athlete. Actually, I thought about turning him into an athlete, but decided, nah, I need to give him just enough time. Pausing the game so I could turn him into a blocker. You actually have to carefully make use of all your commands you got available in order to clear the stage. And as far as I'm aware, there is no way to ensure the safety of every lemming. So, but I could get the next best thing and just get 90% of them instead of the full 100. And this lemming number 2 here is going to do all the rest of the work. And once I turn him into a miner, I can then proceed to turn all the other lemmings into climbers, and we'll be done with the stage in no time. By the way, I'm taking safety routes because there are some times where I just underestimate my efficiency, and I don't want to chance that. Remember, pretty much every move in the game is slower than just walking. Alright, now he's a miner. It's kind of difficult to turn all of the lemmings into miners at once when they're like overlaid on top of each other like that. And I want to create just a bit difference from the distance from the pits so I don't accidentally create a scenario where I get them all killed. So yeah, I think I did safety strats here. And I need to rescue 90%, that's exactly what I did. Turn this one into a builder. Gotta create a backup builder just in case. Trying to save all these lemmings here in this stage is gonna be tricky. I don't even think I managed to do that. I think one of them either fell to his death or fell into some acid. But luckily I don't have to save all of them. Yeah, I think I'm good now. Yeah, he fell to his death. That's a pity. I wasn't able to save him. What I would have done was turn him into a builder, but really I think I would have just prolonged the inevitable with him. But yeah, I'm going to just allow the lemmings out so I could get this done as quickly as possible. And that's basically how you play this game. I will have to figure something out for future difficulties because these stages, when played normally, can take a really long time to finish. Like, the first half of the game looked like I could maybe get this done in under 40 minutes. Nope. Well under 40 minutes. That is not the case at all. Because these stages, now that the kitty gloves are off, get way harder. So really, you just have to practice some patience. And keep in mind, I forgot to mention that we're on a time limit. Yeah, I'm not gonna max out just yet until I'm done bashing. For what it's worth, none of the lemmings are currently in danger. Okay, good. Now I can max out on lemmings. I always do the max out lemmings once I feel confident that I will be able to clear the stage just fine. Once I feel confident that every lemming can reach the exit, that's when I do this. But yeah, when these future levels repeat with altered conditions, this is when your metal is truly put to the test. And keep in mind, not every level repeats. Each difficulty setting has its own set of levels in different orders. Only a few of them repeat. Okay, Beast of a level. This is a Genesis exclusive level and is the most unique of them. The reason for this is because this stage is basically promotional material for another Genesis game called Shadow of the Beast. Shadow of the Beast also has a sequel. I believe the Shadow of the Beast games are supposed to be European in nature. So when they were released here in the States, everything moves way faster. And thus, the games are way harder here in the States than they are in PAL regions. A lot of times PAL games run slower than NSTS game or NSTC games like American or Japanese. So what I have to do is build a ton of bridges to lead all these lemmings to the top of that hill. And this gets a little tricky when they're all cluttered together because I'm trying to get them to climb on the right, but I think I got this time. But yes, this is a Genesis exclusive stage because Shadow of the Beast is a Genesis game. Or Mega Drive for all you kids who live in Europe or Japan or in other parts of the world. Apparently, there was a trademark on the word Mega Drive here in the States, so they changed it to Genesis. Turn a basher here so I could. And now, this guy's job is done because there's no way for any lemmings to come back here. Just need to make sure all these other lemmings are safe. Gonna try to save all of them is a bit of a nightmare hassle, so I don't bother. Let's go! Alright, I need to turn these two lemmings into blockers, and this guy into a builder. I have to remember that I have to unpause the game before selecting a lemming to complete a task. This is another one of those stages where I need one lemming to do everything. So now I could just max out all the lemmings. I need to turn him into a builder pretty close to the stairs. You do it too close and he won't build, and he'll just waste an option. You're given very limited options on what to do. However, this stage clearly wants you to build. I'm gonna nuke this guy first because I feel confident that I can finish building my bridge. And now I can nuke this guy since all the other lemmings are safe. Just let him drop. Good. And now just watch as they all basically go in at the same time. And we're back to that kick-ass music again. Number of lemmings 30. By the way, I have made a number of mistakes. Some usually involves me forgetting to, I want to wait on the later half of the stage to create a digger, just so I could save the other lemmings that I ignored previously. That means I just have to focus on this one lemming while all the others make it out alive. Oh wait, I forgot, this is one of those stages where there's like a pillar that will crush your lemmings by the truckload if you ignore them. It won't kill every lemming if they're cluttered together like that, but I have to be careful. There. And I forgot that I need to turn him into a flutter now. And that's how you do it. That's how you save every lemming in this stage. It's pretty easy. You don't even need to save every lemming. This one is going to need a bit of work. First of all, I decided to create a bunch of builders to slow these lemmings down, so I could have my lead lemming create a path and now everybody can leave safely. I don't have any blockers back there. And man, I had to look up YouTube just to figure out, oh, I could have just done this. And that's the general point. You could also technically lead them from the top, but understand that any higher than the fall that I made up there, and they would die, and they would all die. And yeah, it's very easy to mess up. So we saved all the lemmings. The Great Lemming Caper. This is one of those that only requires 2 of them, and I need to check the layout. Normally, I would not show this off during a recording session, but I forgot that this was a practice session and decided to keep it anyways. Now, again, because you move slower building stuff than walking, I like to make sure each lemming is kept a safe distance. But at the same time, I also recognize it'd be faster to just have each lemming. And I sort of realized that I'm not going to be able to save every lemming if I don't turn one into a basher, and I also recognized the other one needs to bash. The bridge didn't go high enough. That's fine. And yes, that rope thing you saw at the right of the exit would have been one of the most goriest ways for these lemmings to die. Gotta turn this first one to a stopper. I want to create some distance because even though they're coming out at a rate of 1 per second, give or take, more like 1 every 2 seconds. I still want to make sure that there's some distance between each lemming during this early portion before I max out. This is another one of those tricky ones, and unfortunately, now I theoretically probably could have mined those lemmings so they could make it down safely, but I didn't test that because the distance for them to fall would still lead to their demise. So I'm like, nope. I anyways need one more stopper, and this time I need to create several builders to ensure their survival. And I think I'm good. Yup. Come on, yeah. Let's speed this up. I have ensured the safety of every lemming in this stage, so it's time for me to let them out by the truckload. And I'm gonna nuke the blockers one by one. As these clusters actually pass. And now just enjoy the music in the meantime, because we get this track a lot during the fun stages. And I do believe this is another one of those stages that repeats. I'm pretty sure of it. And when they repeat, they have very different wind conditions. If only they could fly. Number of lemmings 100, and this is another one that fortunately we don't need to save them all, but we need to make use of our resources very carefully. I'm definitely going to be relying on blockers and bombers here, in climbers especially. Gotta pause to turn the first one that comes on the... That's ideal for one blocker candidate to pop up like this. And this is where the main builder is gonna be. And at the far end is going to be... I chose not to make the builder there the lead lemming because the lead lemming needs to have a good enough distance from all the other lemmings. And I actually decided to set the builders a little back each time, just to ensure that all the other lemmings can reach the exit. I have to be careful of that flamethrower up top, because those can incinerate the lemmings. And while it's fun to watch the lemmings die, it's not so fun when they die by the truckload and you need to save most, if not all of them. Alright, as far as I know, the most lemmings that will ever come out that you will ever need to save is 100 of them. Alright, now I need to be careful here. I need to create a lead block, make a block out of the lead lemming. Good. That means there will only be 3 casualties in the stage. All blockers, so that's good now. Now I'm gonna block the ones on the right first because... Sorry, the ones on the left first. Actually, I should have done the ones on the left first. I don't know why I didn't do that. Not that it matters since it'll be a while. I ended up nuking the one on the right when that should have been the last one I focused on. It's not a big deal because it'll take 5 seconds for them to go boom anyways. And that'll be before the last of the lemmings make it through. "97% when I only need to rescue 60, so that was easy. 70% of the ones in Dorktown need to be saved. I think I could save 100% of them here. And normally I don't bother using bashers or miners to free a blocker, but this is going to be the first time in this playthrough I'm going to do something like this. And once again, I want to create some safe distance from the previous hole. And I realized, oh, I need a blocker. This was very tricky, but I'm glad I got first try. Now I turn one into a basher and then a builder. Once the builder's up, I can now focus. Wait a minute, no, I don't want to blow them up. I have a better idea. Let's create another basher. There! Freed a blocker. So now I can save all the lemmings. And I can speed this up a little. I think this is another one where there are like 100 lemmings. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there are 100 lemmings. Yep, definitely 100 lemmings. And we're just about done with the fun episodes. So, just one more stage to go. That requires some insane timing to get this right. And I need to pause this so I could. There you go! Now I can release all the other lemmings and be done in about a minute. And we're all but done with the fun stages of Lemmings. That's 30 for 30. And the next time we're going to begin the next difficulty setting, the tricky levels. So, if you like what you see here, leave a like, comment, subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. With all out of the way, this is Mike Gorn signing out.